before the Trump administration, with President Trump having done what seemed to be impossible, securing a fragile but stable peace deal between Israel and Hamas, a battle that's been waged for thousands of years. So back with their reaction is Dinesh and Jonathan. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me again. So, Jonathan, clearly there is a war against the West right now. Its foundations, its values, it's coming from without and also from within. We see it in America, we see it in Europe, we see it in the Holy Land. And I'm trying to make sense of the meaning of that war. And really my next question for you is, what's coming next? We're just past 2 years since the horrific attack in Israel by Hamas. It seems like we're boiling up to some bigger moment here in human history. We're boiling up to some bigger moment here in human history. What are you expecting for that moment?
Yeah. Well, one, it's interesting because this is all coming to a head on the Feast of Sukkot or Tabernacles, and this all began on the Feast of Tabernacles. Actually, a holy day. One of the things that brought out is that the enemy comes against God using the things of God, and so he attacks on a holy day, and now this is coming to a head with Trump through this. Well, a few things. One is that this war began long before we were born, and it's going to continue. And the Bible speaks of end-time prophecy, where it doesn't. I mean, in the end, it gets more intense. And one of the foreshadows of something that is yet to come, that happened in October 7th, is that the prophet Ezekiel speaks about a gathering, an alliance, an invasion of many nations coming against Israel near the end of what's called the last days. Well, the amazing thing is the nations that he mentions by their ancient names, we can identify many of them, and the amazing thing is that virtually every single one of them is an enemy of Israel, number one. Number two, they've never attacked Israel, been part of an invasion until October 7th, because the very nations, the very names that Ezekiel cites had a part in backing it and financing it. It includes Turkey, it includes Iran, so this is like a shadow that we're crossing a prophetic line. The Bible says, and through Ezekiel, and that Iran, what was called Persia back then, is going to attack Israel. Well, Iran never did that directly until during these last 2 years, and Israel struck back. So we are crossing these prophetic red lines. Another thing that is a prophetic, significant thing that is yet to come is the building of the temple. The Bible says that the temple will be rebuilt on the Temple Mount. That's part of Revelation. It's part of Hebrew prophecy. And what people don't realize is that behind October 7th and everything we've just been through was actually the Temple Mount. It began with something happening there. The Hamas named their operation basically the Al-Aqsa or Temple Mount flood. It happened on the Hebrew holy day that's linked to the Temple Mount. So there's really a war about all these things. And the other thing to throw in is that, the other war that Dinesh spoke about is the war against believers. There's been more persecution in our day of believers than any other time. And so there's hatred of Israel raging, hatred of Christians raging, and we've got a real fight to fight.
Completely agreed.